Hey, hello, and welcome everyone to Deskera Monday Matters. Uh, with me is David, and we are glad to have you here with us on this product weekly webinar. And let us take a look at what are the things that we are going to review today in this webinar. Okay, so we'll start off with New Zealand compliance. Now it is live in Deskera Books. We will take a look at Malaysia compliance for payroll. We have added EPF, SOXO, ESI, etc., and we will see how it works. Yodlee went live, and we will show you a quick demonstration of how to connect to your bank using Yodlee. We will look at how you can create more targeted segments based on campaign outcomes. And we have the option now to add custom overtime rates when you are processing payroll. And once we have gone through that, we'll go through a quick overview of Deskera Books, Deskera CRM, and Deskera People. So over to David to start off with the first item on the agenda, which is New Zealand compliance.
All right. So everyone can hear me and see my screen? Yep. All right. So let's get started. So first, you're going to have to create an organization. So you put your financial year start date, your book beginning date, your tax registry, which of course is New Zealand, and you can select your reporting currency and create it. After that, you can see your NZ or New Zealand compliance organization has been successfully created. Now let's explore the app. Let's click on company. So inside here, you can see your tax registry, date format. Under compliance, you can see your IRD number and your GST number. And input them in accordingly and update them. So you can see it's been inputted correctly here. Next, you can click on settings, and then you click on taxes. So you can see your different taxes here. You can add a tax, put in the tax name, like tax 001, percentage, 5%, your tax code. You can put in to show on box 5, box 6, box 8, box 11, and box 12. So which box you want to show the amount in for show tax amount in, and show net amount before tax in. And you can select the type. After that, you can click Add Tax and then Add Tax Group. Inside here, you can put in the name, like tax group, put in the tax code. Then you can select whether it's sales, purchases, or both. Then you can put in the components. So for example, standard rate purchase or standard rate sales. Let's see. Which one? Standard rate purchase. And then click and add another component in here, like standard rate sales. And then you can save it. So you can see the percentage there. Next, let's go to products. Inside products, you can click create. You can select the product, for example, tracked, put in the name, such as product. You can go to the accounting. You can put in the purchase tax. So for example, the tax group that we just created for both sales and purchases. And we can save it. After saving, we're going to go to contacts. Then you're going to be able to add the contact here, put in the contact name, put in the IRD number, put in the GST number, and then save it. After that, let's go to buy, create an order, add a contact. So we're going to add in that wonderful contact that was just created. Now we can add in a product. So we'll add in that product we just created as well with that tax group. And you can see now tax group is populated. And you can see here the total amount. And if you click on tax, you can see the standard rate purchase and the sales rate as well. And you can click save. So then you can drill in here, and then we can convert to a bill. Convert only. And then in bill, we can go drill in, and then scroll down, and we can expand the taxes. So now you can see the two different taxes there. Then you can make a payment, select the payment type. For example, check, choose the date, put in the check number, go next, and pay. And close. Then after that, we can go to sell, create a quote, add the contact, so the same contact we just used, add in the line item, select the product, put in the quantity, put in the unit amount. And down here we can see again, we can expand and see the taxes, the standard rate. And then you can save it. So you see it's been created. We can drill in. We can convert it to an invoice. And we're just going to convert fully. Then inside here, we can go to the invoice. We can drill in. And we can click on the taxes there as well and see it. Now, if you look at the journal entries, we can see the journal entries created here as well. And that's a quick look at New Zealand tax compliance.
Awesome.
New Zealand
Wonderful.
compliance.
Thanks, David, for showing that. And the key element that we had there in New Zealand tax compliance, which we have available in other compliances also, is the ability to add tax groups. Now, how is that useful? It is useful in the sense that if you want to apply multiple taxes to any given line item or to an invoice, then you can do that now by using tax groups. So if you want to, let's say you have VAT, and over and above that, you have additional VAT, let's say, right? You need to create a tax for VAT, you need to create your tax for additional VAT, and then you can create a tax group, which will include both VAT and additional VAT. And you can specify whether it is pre-tax or post-tax. And once that is done, just apply it to your invoice or your quotation, or as the case may be. And it will apply those multiple taxes based on the rules that you have set it. So that power of tax groups is something that will allow you to customize your taxation according to whichever part of the world you may be in. Now let's go back to our agenda, and the next item that we have is Malaysia Payroll Compliance. The new additions that we have here are EPF, SOXO, etc. And over to David to give us a quick overview of all the new things that we have.
All right, sounds good. So we're here at Deskera People. We're going to click on Settings. We're going to click on Tax Details. Inside here, you can fill in the information. And you can see here the HRDF and the ZAKAT number. Now, if you click on Employees, you click on Add Employee. You can put in the first name. Michael Smith. Put in the email address. Put in the designation, PM. Date of birth, 1993, February 2nd. Date of joining. Inside here, you have your contact details and your compensation details. How much is he getting paid? $14,000 per month. Wow. Sounds good. So inside here, you can put your IC number. You can select your nationality. So Malaysian. You can select your race, Malay. Country of origin, Malaysia. Your EPF number. Your PCB number. And your SOSCO category. Employee injury scheme, and invalidity scheme. Now you can see your dependent details, your previous employer, and save. After that, you can click on Pay Run and click Add Pay Run here. Like monthly, what's the work period? So 1st to the 31st. Which user does it apply to? So Michael Smith, and process payroll. Inside here, you can see the different ones. So you can see here, SOXCO, EIS, PCB, EPF for deductions and employer contributions. And you can see the net pay here. So it's all populated. Then you click Next. And then you can process it. And then you click Finish, and it's been processed. Now, if you go to Employee List and click on Michael Smith, inside here, you can click and download the payroll, payslip. And that's a quick look at Deskera People Compliance for Malaysia.
Awesome. Thank you, David. And please feel free to ask any questions in between. Just put your questions in the comment section, and we will get to that. Hi, Asmi. Glad to have you here. Hope that you found the Malaysia Payroll Compliance demo useful. Oh, by the way, somebody just pinged me, and they were asking me if I'm sitting in a bar. No, I'm not in a bar. This is our office pantry area, in case you're wondering. So there you see the kombucha tap, and then we have the entire pantry area. We have a recreational area here. It's not visible right now. The layout guy is telling me not to touch the camera and move it around, so I'll not do that. But yeah, we have a table tennis table and some other stuff here. So yeah, you can see. I mean, you can get a better view maybe of how the pantry looks like. Obviously, it is deserted right now. It's close to 15 past 8 in Singapore. So there's nobody in office except for me and David and the layout guy. So anyways, let's come back to the agenda here. And the next item on the agenda is Yodlee integration, which allows you to connect to multiple banks across the world. And David will show us how you can connect your bank through Yodlee.
Sounds good. So let me just go share my screen. All right. So inside here, let's click on Connect. Then we can click on Connect New Bank, and we have Yodlee here. After you click on that, you can go and select a bank here. If you don't see it, you can search for it. For example, Citibank. Then you can select the Citibank you want, input your user ID, put in your password. If you have a PIN or iPIN or QPIN, you can select which one and submit. Again, different banks will have different requirements based upon their credentials. So after that, you're verifying the credentials here. So after it gathers all the information, you can see your savings account here and your total amount. Then you can select your bank account, and then you can click Connect. And now your bank has been connected. Now, if you click Reconcile, you'll be able to see all your bank transactions from that bank. So inside here, I can see all the different transactions here that have been pulled from my bank, and if there are any ones matching with Deskera transactions. And that's a quick look at Yodlee.
Awesome. So thanks, David, for taking us through how to use Yodlee using Deskera. And Chris is asking, why can't we seem to find Malaysian banks from Yodlee yet? There are some APIs that Yodlee has not released as yet. but we are getting those APIs, which will give us access to Malaysian banks as well. So it's a part of the. I mean, we have shared the list with you already, and that list includes Malaysian banks, and that will be available to you through your Yodlee. Okay. The next item is how to create segments directly from a campaign when you are running a campaign in Deskera CRM. So let's take a look at how it works. So over to you, David.
All right, sounds good. Now we're in Deskera Sales. Inside here, I can click on Campaigns. And I can see all my different campaigns here. I can see that some people are reading, other people's are not. And I can select it. So for example, October sales event. And I can see here, these people are not reading at all, but these people are. Kung has read it 5 times. He must really love it. Now I can actually select here the ones that I want. For example, the ones that are reading it. And I can click here, Create Segment. You can see here they've been selected. And then I can put the segment name. For example, readers. People who read my email campaign, for example. And then I can save it. So from here, I can choose which ones I want. I can create new segments based upon it. I can also look at filtering, like filter out unread or read to select my segments. And also I can do date range. So I only want to select the people that have read it during this date range for this campaign. And then after it filters out, I can also select the ones I want. So now if I go to marketing, I go to segments. I can see here my readers. So I'm very happy with them. And I can see the information accordingly. So this really helps you slice and dice who's reading your campaign, who's active, who's not. Then that's a quick look at how to create segments based upon campaign outcome.
Wonderful. So just to add on to what we already have here, so we already have the capability to create campaigns. We have the capability to filter the contacts that are a part of that campaign and then create different segments from that based on the results. Some of the things that you can expect to see very soon in email campaigns are, one, the ability to track the click on any hyperlink which may be inserted in your email campaign, more detailed reports on opening, bounce rates, etc. Then we are working on automation, which we had shown in one of our previous webinars. And automation will the automation workflow will allow you to create drip campaigns, for example, based on the actions that your users may take within your email. So lots of exciting things coming your way in CRM email campaigns. Okay. So let's take a look at custom overtime rates now and how to add your own custom overtime rate if you need to. And over to David to show us that.
Excellent. All right, so we're inside Deskera People. Now I'm going to go to Payroll. Inside here, I'm going to click Pay Run. And I can see all these wonderful pay runs here. And I'm just going to go and add a pay run here. So I'm going to put the schedule like monthly. Select the period. Select the work period here. Apply it. And I'm just going to select all users and I'm going to process the payroll. Now inside here, I can see different overtime rates. So inside here, if I click the overtime button, I can see 1.5 and 2. Now I can change this. So for example, I want this to be, fascinating. 1 second. There we go. I think. What's going on here? Yes, I know. All right. Just 1 second. Let me just refresh this. Not sure why it's so slow. All right, just let it reload. Sorry about this. All right, now let's go back to payroll. Go back to pay run. Click here, select the pay run, and I want to process the pay run. Okay, so this is where you can add in and change it. So for example, if I want it to be 1.5, I can make it 1.5. I want to go here, and I want to make this 5. I can make this 5. Make this 10. Make this 100, or 1,000, or 10,000. Okay, maybe
If
10.
only.
And I can put in the number of days here, and I could go next. And now it's calculating the rate. So after I input the change, it'll calculate the rate, and it'll update my salary accordingly based upon this. So that's how you can update it. You can update it directly on the screen, and your amount will increase or decrease based upon it. And when you click next, it'll automatically calculate. And that's a quick look at how to update overtime in Deskera. Overtime rates in Deskera.
Okay, awesome. So thanks, David. And hey, just one quick question. You are alone wherever you are, right? In the section of the property that you are sitting in. So you can
Me?
theoretically take off your mask, because there's nobody within any appreciable distance. So if
All
you
right,
feel
all right.
comfortable, please. Yeah, completely up to you though. No pressure.
It's fine. I don't see anybody around.
Yeah, there is nobody around because today we are sitting in two very different physical locations. So no need for a mask.
I think you need to put a mask
Okay.
if you are in the office to be very technical.
Huh?
Oh.
You need to
So
put
you
a
need to
mask.
wear a mask if you're in the office.
The guidelines are you need to put a mask. So please put a mask. Technically, you're not supposed to judge who's around you or not. You don't have to, go into the technicalities. You need to put a mask if you're outside. Don't put a mask when you're at home. That's all it is. Sort of you
All right,
as well.
mask back on.
Okay, so fair point. So there's a question how the hours are calculated after 8 hours of working time. I mean, it depends on whatever schedule that you set up in the system. You can set a schedule. David, maybe we can show them how we set the schedule here. And based on whatever is the schedule, after that, it will start calculating the overtime.
All right, let me just go here, back to Deskera people. All right, and then I'm going to go settings. Inside here, I'm going to company settings. And inside here, you can see select working days, Monday through start time, end time. I can update the timing here, just like a little clock. So I can say, for example, 11:30 a.m. or p.m. based upon what I click here and do OK. And then I can change this here to maybe 10:30 p.m. So you can see I'm changing the thing, and you can see the total hours change here. And then after that, when I go to pay schedule, I can add the pay schedule here, put in the name, and then I can select the work week. So I can deactivate days. So for example, Saturday, Sunday, I'm turning off. So they're not part of the work week here. They're not working on these days. And I can select the pay period and select the work period here as well. So it calculates based upon that the working days for these 5 days, except for Saturday, Sunday. And is it applicable to all users or a specific user? And I can save it here. So does that answer your question? So anything outside these hours will be overtime. based upon how you set this up and based upon how you update it.
All right. Okay. So the next item on the agenda is we have the demo for Deskera Books, CRM, and people. But before we jump into that, just wanted to talk about CRM import uh, and some of the things that we can improve and some of the best practices that I would like to share uh, with people who want to import to CRM. So when you're importing into Deskera CRM, especially your contact list, for example, then while it is possible for you to have duplicates if you add it manually during import, we have restricted duplicates. The main reason being that if you're importing the same file maybe multiple times, then you may end up with a lot of duplicate items in your system. Or if you have multiple if your file is corrupted, then there is no way for us to know that whether it is actually corrupted or if you have the same entry maybe multiple times in the same file. And it is always better to avoid that. And there is a practical reason for stopping that as well. The reason being that when the contact field itself is available as a drop down or selection in multiple places. So, for example, when I am adding a new deal, for example, right, I can tag the deal to a contact. Maybe David, we could quickly go to CRM and show the addition of a deal.
Sure. All right, so let's go to Deskera Sales. And we're going to go see a deal. Let's make a wonderful deal. So inside here, we're clicking on deals. Now I'm going to click on create a deal.
Yep.
And so, let's see. What do we call the name?
It's okay. Just click on the contact field.
Sure.
So this is where you see a list of all your contacts. And imagine if you have the same name for all your contacts, then it will make it difficult for you to identify which contact you actually want to tag the deal to. So this is a common thing when you have a franchisee as a contact, right? Maybe your customers is a franchisee, for example, McDonald's, for example, right? And they will have multiple locations and branches. And how do you tag it? So there are multiple ways to handle this. One is that you put some kind of a branch locator or a branch identifier just after the contact name. That might help you to differentiate it in the dropdown. Another way is that you can use the actual business name that you would use for that particular contact. So the actual legal business name might be different from the franchisee name. So if you use the actual business name, and then the franchisee name could be probably a custom field which you can use to filter out, etc. So there are multiple ways to handle that. Having said that, we also feel that it is better to give the user the option to decide whether they want to have duplicate contacts or not in the CRM system. So while it was already available when you are doing a manual creation for import also, we will provide that option. So if you want to have duplicates while importing the file, the system will tell you, or rather will ask you whether what you want to do with duplicates. Do you want to go with no duplicates, or do you want to just add them as separate records? And it will allow you to do that. And that is a feature that we will add in the CRM. Okay. But I mean, generally speaking, my advice or recommendation would always be to avoid duplicate naming, because anything like contacts or products, etc., you will encounter them in multiple places as drop downs. And when you have a drop down, then it becomes very difficult for you to select or identify which one you actually want to connect to. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the demo, and we'll start off with the demo of Deskera Books, followed by CRM and people.
All right. Sounds good. So let me go to Deskera Cloud. It's the all-in-one dashboard. Inside here, you can see your company at a glance. What the heck is going on? So I can filter out my bank accounts and see what it looks like. We're going up for a while, but now we're going down. This is not good. I can see my invoices, my age receivables, my won and lost deals, my pipeline view, my contacts report, monthly and yearly. I can see my expense claims, payrolls, and leaves per month. So I can see all this information at a glance. After that, I can just click on the wonderful icon there, and I can go to my Deskera books. So I can drill in and see what's going on a little bit better. So it'll take me to the dashboard screen. So I'll be able to see what's going on in the dashboard, and then from there get more information. So for example, I can see my invoices for the last 30 days. I can see it for current month, last month, current year, last year. I can see my age receivables, my bills, my banks. Is everything going well? I can see my net cash flow. Is the inflow and outflow good or bad? And the profit and loss. After that, I can go click on buy, and I can buy something. So I can see all my orders, my bills, and information here. And I can click create new, and I can create a new order here. Now inside here, I can add contacts as well directly from the screen. So if I click new contact, I can put in the name, the tax number, and this changes based upon compliance. Different countries have different compliances, and you'll see accordingly. Like for this one's the US, you put in the tax number. You can say, are you tax exempt? And then you can input the address here. I can also click here. I can look at the different contacts I have, and I can select which one I want. So for maybe, for example, Cameras R Us. And if I have multiple addresses, I can click here and select them. Currently, Cameras R Us only has one address, but if I want to select different ones, I can select them here. I can add in a line item, for example, maybe an Apple computer. And I can put in the quantity, or actually, let me just put in camera instead. C-A-M-E-R-A, camera. Put in the quantity. So for example, maybe I want to buy 11 of them at $500. I can see the subtotal, the information here, any discount. The discount here, I can put in directly. And it's a flat rate, but if I put in a percentage, it becomes a percentage rate. I can see my order date, due date, running number. So I can have my custom running format here. I can create it and update it. Any global custom fields I can update here. So for example, project, outlet, supplier code. And I have my multi-currency options here. So it's a Singapore dollar, euro, and I can update the currency directly on the screen here. I also have the ability to set as recurring. Is it monthly intervals, weekly, yearly, or custom? Is it every day, every week, every month? And I can choose how many days. So for example, every 3 days, every 5 days, for example. And I can say the first document date is on the 12th. And is the ending date? Does it never end, or is there an ending date to this? And then I can save it here. Let me just save this order. All right, now it's saved. I can now click the 3 dots and I can fill it with goods received, put in the receiving date, quantity of which warehouse it goes to. I can also click here, and I can see this is a batch product, so I can add a batch. So let me call this batch 2, okay. Manufacturing date. What's the manufacturing date on this? Let's say it was manufactured today, expires in 1 year. And how many quantities assigned to this batch? I can put all the quantities here, or I can split it up. So maybe if I put 5 here, I can add another batch. Call this batch 3. Again, select the date, put in the quantity, and I'm done. Then you can see everything looks good. This should be green, and I can receive it. Now that's received, I can go to bill, and it's converted to a bill. After that, I can click pay, and I can select my bank. So you can see the bank is selected based upon the currency. So this is euro, so it's selecting a euro bank. If I change the currency here to SGD, or not SGD, to USD, Then you can see here Bank of America or Wells Fargo. Then I can select the payment type. Is it a check, bank, or card? So I can decide what it is. Also, if I want to pay it based upon card, you can see I have MasterCard Visa. This is created by creating a chart of account in there, and you tick card. So you can also do that as well if you want to. So putting that there, reference number, clicking next. And here's the exchange rate. And you could update this one accordingly because, of course, the bank will never say, hey, your exchange rate is correct. Ours is wrong. And you click next, and then you pay. After that, you can print it on out. Select the template. And then you can go and see the document. And this is for some companies that require, you pass this document to your boss. Maybe he needs to sign off on a check and sign off on this document as well to have it recorded. So let's go to sell. Inside here, I can create a quote or an invoice. I'm just going to go create a new invoice here. Then I'm going to add in the contacts. So maybe, for example, I want to add in, let's see, Austin Circuits. Add in a line item. We're going to look at camera. And then I can put in the quantity here again. So maybe I'll put in 10. I put in the unit price, 1,000. Then you can see my taxes are generated here. So depending on which country you're in, for example, if you're in Singapore, it'll show your GST, as well as in Malaysia, it'll show you your different taxes here, and you can select it as well. So it's up to you on which system you're using. I can see it all here, or which statutory compliance it is, and I can save it. Now, just to show you something a little bit different inside here, if I'm connected to Stripe, I'll be able to insert a payment link here and send a copy to myself. I can also go here and click on the 3 dots, and I can see design. And inside here, I can choose my logo. So for example, apples. I can choose my color. I can update my name. Excuse me. Put in my company address, billing address, shipping address. I can hide it. Change my currency and change it to a different label. Update my date format. Look at my line items. Maybe hide my signature, terms and conditions, notes. Maybe I don't want to show discount because there is no discount. Why confuse them with facts? And then I can go and print or download it here. All right, so let's click here and receive these goods. So inside here, I'm going to go fulfill. And since it is a batch or serial number, this one's a batch, I have to do direct fulfillment. If not, you can do pick, pack, ship, and drop ship. And then I can select the quantity here. And then I can add a batch. So for example, maybe I want to add batch 3. And then I want to add in batch 2. And you can see the quantities adjusted accordingly. I'm done. And I can fulfill. And after that, I can get paid. And choose the payment type. And you can see it can be under deposited. It could be your MasterCard or Visa. It can be your Wells Fargo, bank account. So you can select which one you want. So for example, I want Wells Fargo. Yes, payment type. Bank transfer. Choose the date. Reference number. Click next, next, and receive. Great, it's now been paid. Now I'm just going to quickly go to products. Inside here, I can click on new product. And just to show you the different types of products we have, I can click here and add an image. Shirts. Okay. And inside here, I can say, is it non-tracked, tracked, or bill of materials? Non-tracked, you consider it like services. Like my sister does. She's a certified public accountant. She goes and does external audits for a company, and she charges by the hour. You can think of it like engineers, electricians, all sorts of stuff like that. Stuff that's charged by the hour or per service. We have track products. Track products are like my good old laptop, my phone, my coffee cup. So those are all tracked, and you track the number of pieces they have. And inside there, under inventory, we have cost of goods sold, inventory account, and stock adjustment account. These are required because we're perpetual, meaning a journal entry will be posted at the time when I receive the goods and when the goods leave my warehouse. And we have, of course, bill of materials. So inside here, this is a bunch of components that come together to produce a product. I think of it as like chicken soup, where you can have, you have your broth, your noodles, your carrots, your celery, your chicken, of course, and you have to assemble it all together and boil it all up. And then you have your additional costs here as well. So you put in your components, you put in your additional costs like cooking or maybe assembly. So these are all the different ways you can do it, and I can put in the total here as well. And then I can save it. So let's also next go. Okay. So next, let's go to accounting. So inside here, you have your chart of accounts, your journal entries, your opening balance, debit note, credit note, expense, and deposit. Just want to update you that inside journal entries, we do have an import option. So this is where you can import it. Also, this is where you can pay off your credit card. So if I create here a fund transfer, and I can say from my Wells Fargo account. Sorry, is it here or is it under? And then this is where I can transfer to another bank account here, like Bank of America, for example, and update it here accordingly. So this is where you can import. So we also have our expenses. So this is where you can do your direct expense, your prepayment. Inside here, you have your deposit. So this is where you can create your deposits. And here's your bank deposit. So this is where you can deposit to based upon any uncleared transfers. All right. So let's go to reports. Inside here, I can see all my different financial, profit and loss, balance sheet, cash flow, statement of accounts, accountment for vendors. I can see my tax reports based on compliances. I can see my purchase reports, my inventory reports, and my sales reports. Under bank, this is where I can see my different bank accounts. And this is where I can click and I can connect or reconnect my bank account if it needs reconnecting, or connect through Plaid and other ones. I can also reconcile it. And I can match my accounts here, any bank transactions to my accounts. And if I want to upload a statement, I can also upload a statement here. So I can import the statement as well. All right. I think that's a quick look at books. Do we have any questions, Saurabh, or should I continue on with CRM?
There doesn't seem to be any questions at the moment. So yeah, let's continue on with CRM.
Okay, sounds good. So inside here, we have the dashboard. We can see our contact reports, upcoming activities, deal stages, deals won and lost, campaigns, and total tickets. If I go over here and I click settings, just to show you for custom fields, just like in books, this is where you can create your different custom fields. I can create text, drop down, or number based on what I require. I can put field name, maximum length. For a number, I can do decimal precision. For a drop down, I can add different ones in. So you can think of it like food types or different activities. Like, for example, this guy or this girl only agrees to the deal or will discuss the deal on the golf course, or they're a bowler, different types of activities and stuff like that. And we also do create in the module contacts or deals inside the system. We also have the ability to integrate your emails, go to guide and set up your different types of guides with your hero banner and your logo. Under campaigns, this is where we can create our different campaigns. So I'm going to go add a campaign here. Maybe I'll call this Matters. Subject, Monday Matters. Select the category. Next. I can select the segment. So we just created a new segment called readers. These are the people that read it. So I'm going next. Now I can select a template. Do I want to use my own or use theirs? Use a pre-designed? Or do I want to use my templates? Or do I want to use a blank template? I can choose which one I want. I'm just going to use this template. Inside here, I can see all the information and see the data here. And I can save and continue. After that, I can click next. Put in the sender name, sender email, or I can use my own. So inside here, I can add an email to create customized emails for this campaign. And I'm allowed to create 5 of them. And you just put in your sender name, email address, username, password, server import, and then you save. But for this case, I'm just going to use mine. I mean the standard one, Deskera's email service. I can also use a different reply address. I can send test mail and I can send it out, or I can schedule for later. So for example, maybe the 18th at 8 p.m. I can schedule it. Now I can see it's scheduled. Under services, we have the ability to create guides and support. Under guides, I can go and create different sections. I can create different articles. So if I click on the 3 dots, I edit it. You can see the information's been created. You can insert pictures. You can see the text and all that. The key thing I just want to mention is that if you click here, this arrow, this is where you publish and unpublish. If you just click save, it saves it. But if you want to publish or unpublish, you have to click this arrow here and publish it. I can see my support tickets. I can see if there's anything there. I can also create a ticket. Select the requester, select the assignee, select the type, question, incident, task, or problem, how urgent it is. So maybe problem. David, we are looking into it. Support. Subject, I need help. And then you can save it as new. And you can see it's now added. Also, if I receive emails from my support mail, it should automatically populate here as well. Now let's go create a deal. Inside here, let's create a deal. Let's say this one. 5 computers. I can select the contact person. I can also select the organization here. So for example, oops, Johnny Electronics. I can see John Thomas here. I can select the sub owner. I can put in the value. I can select the pipeline. I can save it. After it's created, I can go here and drill in. Now, one question I get is, where do I edit this deal? You have to click on these 3 dots here, and this is where you can edit the deal here. You can delete it and edit it up here. I can connect my email, I can log, I can create an activity. Example call. Set the time duration, assign to whom. Assign the contact person. So for example, TH. John Thomas. Select the organization. Giant Electronics. I can save it and send it to the invitees. And when I'm done, I just click this checkbox. It's completed. I can add notes. I can add logs. I can go back to deals. And I can literally just drag it all the way to contract sent. And then if I want to drill in, I can do it as deal 1, deal loss. Or I can just drag it into deal 1 or deal loss. Up to me. Let's win this deal. Also, I want to show you something else. If I go to the list view here, you see the lists. But did you know if you click this checkbox, you can then edit, change owner. You can change the pipeline, change visibility, delete, and export. So if you ever wanted to change it to a different pipeline, this is where you can do it. And I can select more than one, and I can do multiple at the same time. And finally, just quickly, activities. Inside here, this is where you can generate your calendar URL. So after you generate it, this is where you can link your Google Calendar, and it'll start syncing your activities together. And that's a quick look at Deskera Sales, or CRM. Do we have any questions, or do you want me to proceed to people?
I think we have a question here from Shashi. Can I make a call directly from the CRM, clicking the contact phone number and track the call logs? So if you connect Twilio, then that might be possible, but it's not possible directly from the CRM. Okay, so let's see if there's any other question. No, there doesn't seem to be any other question. So yeah, let's move on to Deskera people.
Excellent. So inside here under Deskera people, we have our dashboard. So I can see my last payroll. I can see the upcoming payroll. I can see the amount here. I can see the number of employees, total earnings, total deductions. I can see the information here. I can see any important dates coming up. So 31st January, upcoming payroll. Things to complete. I can see here year to date. And I can go now to pay schedule. Inside pay schedule, this is where you can add it. You have a choice of monthly, weekly, twice per monthly, and bi-weekly. So this is where I can change the dates. I can put in the first payday period, and I can set the work period. So for example, and then I can go here maybe to 15th, for example, and apply it. And is it applicable to all users or a specific one? I can actually go down here and go to components, and I can add in components here as well. So you can think of it like bonus, basic pay, Chinese, New Year, bonus. Yes, yes, yes. That sounds good. And I can say, is it an earning or a deduction? And is it applicable to all users or a specific one? And is it a deduction? What are the compliances? So based upon different countries, you'll have different compliances. For this one, for example, is pre-tax, post-tax, but in other countries, you'll have SDL, what's it called? CPF, stuff like that here that you can decide. Inside here, we also have our employees. So this is where you can create your different employees. I'm just going to edit one. And you can terminate your employee here as well. Inside here, you put in the name, his destination, his address, compensation. Is it full-time, part-time, casual, shift worker, probation, or outwork? Is it per month, per hour, or per year? And you can select the payment method here. So certain countries are requiring this. Other countries, you can see that it's not requiring at all. And for example, account number. Go next. Country. County. Union County. Okay. Next. Inside here, I can see all the components. I can remove them or assign new ones to them. I can click next, and I can put in the social security number. And but again, this is all statutory compliance. So based upon which country you're in, this will change. And you just update accordingly. And you save it. Then let's go process the payroll. So inside here, I can click on pay run. excuse me, I can add a pay run here, and I can click on the schedules it. So I have different schedules here. So let me just go here to monthly, last working day of the month. Let me select a user, and I can select the work period here. So for example, 1st to 31st, and apply, and I can process it. After that, I can see the information. I can click on overtime. I can change the rates here, like we were talking about before. So for 3, 10, or maybe very sad, 0.5. Can we do 0.5? Let's see. Go next. And then it's processed. So for OT 0.5 hours. And then I can then process the payroll. It tells me make sure everything's 100% accurate. To ensure accuracy, please review your payroll numbers and to make sure they are 100% correct. Do you wish to continue to process your payroll? Yes. After that, I can view a summary. If everything looks good, then I can go and click finish. If not, I can click cancel. Next, let's go to eLeave. And this is where I can see the eLeave in the system. I can see 6 leave, unlimited leave, yearly leave. So you can see all the leaves that I've created here. I can click on holiday calendar and see all the holidays that are coming on up. I can click on leave management. This is where I can add a new leave type. So inside here, leave type, days per year, gender, marital status, maximum consecutive days, is it year to based entitlement, and the different ranges. For example, 0 to 5. Actually, put here. Type. And then after that, number of leaves, add range. For example, and I continue to add, I can save it. I can also go to applications and I can create a new application for leave. I can select my leave type. Select the date. Reason. And then I can apply it. After that, I can go to requested here. And I can see it in multiple ways. So I can see here, this one's pending. I can check the box here, press the X. I can see it in boxes here. So I can see it all, again, click the checkbox or the X. Or I can even see in this type of diagram, which shows me my pending, approved, and rejected leaves. And then I can approve or reject here as well. After that, so that's a quick look at eLeave. So after that, let's go take a look at expenses.
So before we go into expenses, there are a couple of questions on payroll, I think for Malaysia payroll specifically. Let's have a look at them. So
Okay.
First question is actually not about payroll per se, but it's about quotation or proposals. Okay, we can address this one first. For components, can we have option to calculate or not? For EPF, SOXO, PCB, the answer is yes. When you are creating a component, if you have a MY or a Malaysia company and you're creating a component, then you have the option to make it applicable for EPF or SOXO and other such options. So there are checkboxes there, which you can just tick off if you want to calculate that particular component for, say, for example, EPF. If you don't want it to be calculated for EPF, you can just leave it unchecked. Then for EPF, can we edit for employee? Answer is yes, but it is not available right now on production, but it will be there. You will have the option to choose, I think, between 9 and 11% for individual employees based on whatever the case may be. Then when is the attendance module going to be available? So attendance module is in our roadmap, but our current people roadmap is focused more on adding all the compliances and reports. Once we, I think we are very close to finishing the current set of compliances. And as we finish them, we will move on to taking on more new items in the roadmap. And our roadmap will be updated to reflect when the attendance module is going to be out. Then there is a question: can we reject employee leaves with reason? So a reason code option will be provided to while rejecting employee leaves. So yes, that will be possible. Then there was a question, I think, earlier, which is about, can I create quotation or proposal and it goes into the deal automatically? I think what you're, so there are multiple scenarios here. One scenario is that let's say you move your deal to a particular stage in your pipeline, and as soon as that happens, then a quotation is created and sent off to your contact. So that is one scenario. The other is that you just want to fetch the information for that contact from books over into CRM. Not sure which one you're talking about, but both would be possible in the future. We already have added contact sync between CRM and books, which means that all they are sharing information. So we can fetch contacts from books and display them in CRM or vice versa. Additionally, the automation workflow engine that we are working on will allow you to create triggers and actions. So the trigger could be moving to a particular stage in any given pipeline, and the action could be that a quotation is created and sent for that particular contact. So those are some of the things that you can expect to see in the future in both CRM and books once we have the automation workflow engine in full force. Okay. Let me quickly see if there are any other questions. I don't see any. So, okay, let's continue with our demo. Over to you, David.
All right. So now we're in expense. So inside here, I can see the weekly, monthly, quarterly expenses, the group claim breakdown, recently processed claims, approved, rejected claims, and my category. So I'm able to click here, new claim. I can put in the merchant's ID. For example, Watson's. I can put in the amount. Any category I can select, for example, maybe food. Why at Watson's? I have no idea. And then you can put in description. Eat food to eat food to survive. Then I can submit it here. And I can see all claims, any draft, any submitted. I can go to the admin settings, and I can go here. I can click on the three dots. I can duplicate or print. And I can click the red X to reject or the blue checkbox to approve. So I'm just clicking the green checkbox to approve. Then I go back to my expense dashboard. And that's a quick look at expenses. Anything else you'd like to see, or?
So let's just wait for a couple of minutes to see if there are any questions. In the meantime, so a few things that we are working on, as I mentioned earlier, the automation workflow engine that's going to be pretty powerful in automating your email campaigns and automating workflows between different applications like books and CRM and people, for example. Then in the things that you can expect to see in the near future, an improved report builder with options to add data sources from across applications, the ability to add calculated fields in the report builder, which will help you with your sales commission as well, eventually. So there are different upgrades and enhancements that are coming your way. Plus, we are adding more customization, or rather configuration, to the UI in books. So if you are, say, from a service background and you don't want to call it products, then you can change the labels as you wish, or you can show and hide certain sections. So all of these exciting new updates and enhancements are coming to books real soon. They are coming to Deskera real soon across different applications. And please stay tuned for all the updates on this webinar and on our community group. And yeah, we have a question. Can we reject expenses with reasons as well? Uh, while rejecting an expense right now, there is no option to give a reason, but that can be added there as well. I mean, that's a valid point. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't have a reason to not put that in. So we can add that. Okay. So with that, thank you everyone. Thank you, David, for hosting the webinar, and everybody else for joining and being a part of another Deskera Monday Matters. We will have Deskera Friday features on Friday, as you're aware, and we'll be looking at more new releases and enhancements and updates in that one. Till then, have a good time. Goodbye.
Take care. Bye.